I read a lot of the comments on the internet. They're saying, old, not saying what you actually mean. Tom Brady's on the show.
What?
I didn't get that sense. He was there for like 30, 35 minutes, was probably only supposed to be on there for 8 minutes. I think we learned a lot about old Tom yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, just being able to talk to him was very cool. Thank you for allowing me to ask a question. I actually, there was a time in there where there's a little bit of a flub, and so I almost pulled one of our favorite former quarterbacks. God damn it! I almost wanted to do that, but I decided
in the middle of your question?
In the middle of the question. I thought about it. I was so close.
What, you got choked up there a little bit?
Yeah. When I mentioned Belichick, and then I said Bill instead of Mayo when I meant Mayo. There's a couple things. I'm not going to nitpick myself here. Okay?
Sounds like you already have.
I already have. I could barely sleep. I was so pissed at myself. But it was nice to say thank you to him. My biggest takeaway, honestly, aside from the stuff that I am invested in strictly as a Patriots fan, was the Fox stuff. Because that is we're going to have a lot of Tom Brady now. Like there's been this 2-year, I guess really 1 year, 18-month period where, he's been able to be the dad Tom and the businessman Tom and do all these other things, which has been awesome. He's been talking to
He'll show up on the internet.
Show up on the internet doing, talking to people about his motivation and, having the chip on his shoulder and all that. And I love that stuff. But my biggest takeaway is he's going to be great in the Fox booth. And I think I wasn't worried about that, but because of the fact that I love Greg Olson in there so much, there was you got to follow up someone who's really become incredible at calling games, which Greg Olson has. But him talking about the team, him talking about talking to other broadcasters, trying to figure out what works for them, what might work for him. I think that was my biggest takeaway, that the 425 slate on Fox for the next 10 years is in great hands, and I'm just glad that another one of these...
He might suck early.
Exactly.
He might suck early, but nobody will really give Tom Brady... Nobody will give Tom Brady, hey, this guy needs to learn and maybe figure it out because you're coming fresh off Greg Olson, which was still a possibility. So we're supposed to expect... and be okay with him potentially not being good. But I think that dude's obsessive. Now, AQ, you got a chance to win a Super Bowl on the same team as Tom Brady. And the last guy that was taking a snap in between your thighs was Tom Brady. And you got a chance to hear your family legacy lives forever speech before the Super Bowl. You obviously got a chance to see what he said to us yesterday. He's like that all the time. Is that why everybody considers him such a good teammate? Not only great, every teammate of his. You talk about Vrabel.
Yep.
You talk about everybody from the first generation of the Patriots to the second generation of the Patriots to third generation of the Patriots. Everybody's like, Tom, good teammate. And then he talked about it being his sanctuary in that locker room. That was awesome to hear him chit-chat about he's super old school, I think. I think he's an old school guy, which I don't think a lot of people would expect out of Tom Brady.
No, he is. And the beauty about what you're going to see.
Because he looks so good.
He does.
Sure,
Yeah,
exactly.
right.
Because that camera was maybe the best we've ever seen.
Perfect.
Since D-Butts in his, wherever the hell you are, with that one at your house, you have that camera?
Yeah.
The lighting on Tom.
Yeah. In his real kitchen.
So, exactly.
Yeah.
He is cooked in all 4 of those ovens.
Definitely.
The avocado ice cream has been cooked up in that thing right there. Because you got to melt the avocado in the milk.
That's how it works.
That doesn't come from a cow. Comes somewhere else.
No.
And then you got to freeze it.
Yep,
and then you kind of piece it together. But anyways, because of how good he looks, nobody thinks he's an old school guy. I think he very much is.
Absolutely. And the thing that's going to be really cool to see with him breaking stuff down is quarterbacks see the game completely different than everybody else. Completely different. And the other thing that's going to be wild is he's going to see it completely different than Tony Romo. Every quarterback I played from saw the game completely different.
How many did you play for? Any good ones?
Yeah, some good ones.
Which ones?
5 overall number 1 picks.
5.
Is that good?
Yeah, I don't know. You tell. I think so. Yeah.
The greatest of all time, who wasn't a number 1 pick.
Yeah, pick 199. You did play with
Joey
Ben
Flacco's a Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah, Ben Roethlisberger as well.
Ben Roethlisberger.
He
What
was
are 5 ones? I know Luck. Who else?
Kyler Murray.
Okay.
Sam Bradford. Carson Palmer.
Andrew Luck.
Andrew Luck.
And
Michael Vick. Where was he at?
yeah, I think he was one.
Oh, yeah, he was one for sure.
Yeah.
Hey, he needs to be on the show, by the way.
Yeah, what the hell?
Hey, he
Yeah,
keeps
Michael
tweeting that.
We need to get Michael
guess.
Vick on the show. I don't know what he's up to. Obviously, he has not lived a perfect life. Nobody has paid his punishment. I think he's given back to it all. But you're talking about electrifying. I cannot wait to hear what Michael Vick has to say about the current state of the NFL in which he would have.
He
Oh my
has something
God.
coming out. Saw a promo last night on Twitter. I forgot. Maybe Prime, one of those platforms. He has something.
Could you imagine him with the
bunch of
RPOs?
guys.
Could you imagine him with like
he would be
play
dominant right now.
With the way the offensive line is allowed to get down the field seemingly beforehand, and how you can do a late pull and just a flip of the wrist of what he was able to do. We saw him throw that
the nuke to
the Nerf ball out of
the stadium.
Right?
What was it? That was the
vortex.
The vortex ball out of the stadium. Obviously, he had incredible ability. Yeah, AQ's played with everybody seemingly in the NFL. That's what happens whenever you're on 5 different teams in 12 years, journeyman through and through. But what Tom Brady, seemingly stands for as a football player will lend, I think, into his favor whenever he's in the booth. But boy, we need Greg Olsen.
Yeah, still need him to be number 1 booth.
You called for a job yesterday.
I didn't call for a job.
He did.
I did not call for a job. I love Chris Collinsworth.
We just need another platform to maybe create a primetime game.
Sure.